Guys, what's up? Welcome to another, what do we call this, tutorial video? I don't know. Um, there's going to be a lot to go over in this video that I'll kind of talk about piece by piece. There will be timestamps. If you want to know a specific boss, you can use those to jump to that boss. Otherwise, you can watch the whole video because it's, cool of you. There's also a part 1 where I cover most of the forest bosses, and I say most of them because I missed a bunch of stuff my first playthrough. I missed shops. I missed the blacksmith. There's a bunch that I did not do great. So I'll try to cover what I can as we go through. But just to get started, as you can see, we're starting with the first boss of Chapter 2, Lang-Li-Guhh-Baw. I'm probably saying that horribly. He's another frog. He has some pretty fast attacks that do a lot of damage. I believe this guy took me 4 or 5 tries to actually kill. Overall, he fights a lot like the green frog that we fought in Chapter 1. But in this situation, he also has electrical attacks you have to watch out for, which of course means he does more damage and will cause shock buildup. If you get shocked, you become vulnerable to damage for a little while, more so than you already are. As you can see, I also don't have my transformation. This will be a lot easier with that second health bar. So just be sure that you have done the secret bosses in Chapter 1 that you're able to do up to this point, so you can have your first transformation. You'll see as I go through the Chapter 2 bosses, I actually at some point go back and do that. So I'll have the transformation after a certain point, but right now I didn't have it. Otherwise, though, this frog fights a lot like the other frogs. Just fight him like you did the other one. Watch the donkey kick. When he shoots the little electrical balls, you can do a staff twirl to negate them if they're the ones that are floating. If they're the one that are on the ground, you can just jump over them. Otherwise, like when he does this ultimate lightning attack, just get away from where the lightning's going to strike. Overall, he's not too bad. The second boss you'll come across, most likely anyways, is the Earth Wolf. Again, it's another slow monster. He has a lot of movement range, but for the most part, he just kind of... everything's very much projected. He's very simple and easy to dodge. And at this point, you should be getting used to not only your weapon attacks and your spells and how everything functions in the game, but you should also be learning your mixed combos, which is when you do a few light attacks, then you switch into a heavy attack to do extra damage. You generally, I think you want to do a mixed combo around the 3rd hit, because you want to do it before you get locked into the staff twirling animation. But yeah, with this boss, like I said, he's not that difficult. Just a few claw and biting attacks, nothing that's gonna catch you completely off guard. And he actually gives you a pretty cool transformation as well. When you beat him, it causes like a stun on whatever it hits. So yeah, easy enough. The next boss is the King of Flowing Sands and the second Prince of Flowing Sands. Now, what you want to actually do here is you want to kill the king first and then kill the sun second. Now, since I was playing blind, I didn't know that. So you'll see in the footage here, I take out the second prince and then the king runs away. If you kill the king first, the second son enrages. and he just starts hitting harder and he's faster and stuff. You can mitigate this by getting him to low health, then killing the King of Flowing Sands. That way, when the second prince enrages, he'll be low enough health where it won't even matter. You can just slap him a few times to be done. Now, that being said, the fight itself isn't too terribly difficult. The prince has some big, heavy attacks that are very projected and easy to dodge. And there's other stuff like his overhead slam that he does. He'll usually do it 3 times in a row, but he can't do a full tracking like 360-degree turn. He can actually only turn like 95 degrees. So once he does the overhead slam, you can actually get behind him and he shouldn't be able to turn and hit you. But even if he can, he's so slow that it doesn't matter. The bigger threat in the fight is getting stunned by the king throwing rocks at you, which can also stun the prince if they hit him. So just try to keep the prince between you and the king. And then eventually, the king will get down from the pillar and you'll be able to attack him. Take out the king, finish off the prince, and you'll get a transformation that I don't have. So you'll have something that I don't have. But yeah, again, overall, this is just a big, slow, dumb boss. Not too difficult to deal with. Once you defeat them, whether or not if you kill the king, you'll get an item that lets you summon the first Prince of Flowing Sands a little bit further in. And if you don't kill the king first, he'll actually summon the prince for you, and the first prince will kill the king, and then you'll fight the first prince. Again, this is another big, dumb, slow boss with hugely projected attacks. He hurts a bunch. And if you get behind him, you have to watch out for a tail swipe. But otherwise, he's shockingly easy, especially compared to his dad and brother. It's very much just don't get hit, dodge these gigantic swipes he does, and as soon as he's vulnerable, slap him around. And watch out for feints and stuff as well. Again, he can tail swipe you, and sometimes he's so big that when he puts his claw down after an attack sometimes, you're not out of the woods yet because you can still get stunned by the big he does on the ground. Again, though, easy boss. Now, there is another trick to this boss. There is an area of the arena that can be broken. It's the little gray slab, rigid slab in the back. It's really obvious that that's something, or it's different from the rest of the terrain, but it's not obvious what you need to do. It needs to be hit with a very heavy attack. Your options are either to A, lure the first prince over there and let him smash it, or B, you can use one of your heavier attack transformations, like the baby head. The very first transformation you get was the big thing in the forest and everybody died to him a million times. That can actually smash the wall. So either let the rat prince run into that or smash it yourself so you can get back there, because you actually need that to unlock other bosses, including one that I'll be covering in this video. And you also need to to unlock a secret boss from chapter 1, which I'm not going to cover the boss itself because it's really easy. It's one of the long dragons, and all you do is you just hit it until it falls down, then you pop the zits on its back. So I'm not even going to bother showing that one because it is so easy and there's no tricks, you just fight him. But yeah, you do need an item from this specific fight that you can only get from going into that wall once it's broken. To do that is the long scale. Moving on from that, however, now, I know I said earlier I wasn't going to cover this, but apparently I am covering this. I didn't realize I put this in the actual clips that I collected. So this is Red Loong. He is a secret optional boss. You can't access him unless you get the long scale that I told you about from the first prince. Once you have that, you'll go back to chapter 1, and he's behind a waterfall, in the second area. There's 4 of these long dragons total. We're about to cover 2 of them. Again, like I was saying, though, he's not very difficult. You just beat him up. When he falls down, you hit him in his back to where the little gourds or whatever are. And those will pop. If you pop all 3, he insta-dies. But, I mean, I don't know if that like last pop was just enough to kill him or if he instantly died. But either way, just pop the zits on his back. It's not too bad. Um, the first boss that gave me trouble, and this would be a lot easier if I had had my transformation, but I didn't, as you can see. So I had to beat him honest, and I'm not joking. This took me an hour and a half. I must have died 15 times. I mean, the thing about him is none of his attacks are super dangerous. I mean, he can't even really, but that's coming from somebody who fought him so long that I had every single attack memorized. Um, he has these big punching attacks and these kicking combos he can do, which they're easy enough to dodge once you get the hang of it. But this is just a boss that takes some learning. He also has a stone transformation that he can do. If you hit him during it, he will counterattack it. But even if that happens, it's not that big of a deal because it's very easy to dodge the counterattack, as long as you, of course, have stamina. Another thing to look out for is his full screen sword attack. He'll put his hand on his thing and he'll do like this. And a couple of seconds after that, he'll come at you fast and it will chunk your health like tremendously. You don't want to get hit by that. Um, so you can see him sometimes he'll square up like, and that's when you know he's going to do a punchy combo. It looks like it's like 5-6 hits. He also has some projectiles he can do. He'll back off and he'll do like 3 slashes at you that go full screen, and then also he'll after that he'll usually do 2 tornadoes as well that are kind of tracking. Again, not super difficult to avoid. It's just more of a matter of noticing that it's happening and watching what he does after the fact, because usually he'll come in pretty quick with some attacks. Make good use of your stun spell and make good use of your cloud step ability. And again, this is definitely the true get good fight. This is where you got to get real good. And sometimes he'll do the stone skin, but it won't be the counterattack phase. He'll actually stealth and hit you with a really strong straight punch. If you see it coming, if you know it's happening, it's dodgeable. And you can tell that's the way it's going to be, because rather than him just being stone, you'll actually see splashes in the blood around, where he's running to. I also put on the White Noble gear for this fight. I don't know if it helped. I was hoping and assuming that the blood counted as water. But yeah, this was the first really difficult fight that I came across. Well, maybe second, because the Black Bear Monk or whatever, not the bear form, but the actual monk form was pretty hard in Chapter 1. But I think that was just due to the fact that you didn't have any abilities at that point. Anyways, after the tiger boss, you'll go a little bit further and you'll come across a stone Vanguard. And again, he's just another big dumb slow enemy. The biggest threat you have to watch out for is I think at certain health thresholds he'll hunker down and start throwing like baby rocks at you, and you just have to dodge those. You can perfect dodge them and get a good bit. After 5 fly at you, he'll throw 2 more at you at the same time as he'll come for you, and that's the one you definitely want to dodge. Um, Otherwise, like I said, he's just another big dumb boss. Try to stay behind him. Don't get hit by any of his dumb stuff. You'll see a couple of times during the fight I use the stone monkey form. Rock solid is what it's called, to get some counterattacks off of him. But yeah, big dumb boss, fairly easy. Took me like 3 tries. You can do this one. And then moving from there, you have the Gore-Eye Daoist. I'm going to be honest with you, I barely even know what this guy did. I just know it was a panicky fight that I did my very best on. He puts like blood on the ground, and I'm not sure, like, I'll have to watch it. You probably definitely shouldn't walk through it. You want to lure him out of it, like you can kind of see me doing in the fight. Um, but yeah, man, he just does a lot of damage very quickly if you get caught in his stuff. And as you can see, I actually have my transformation at this point. So, yeah, just hit him a lot, dodge his stuff. I wish I could give you more information on it, but it's just, as you're able to see, I kind of just frantically fought him and try my best not to die. So there's a side quest that you can do that involves a pig you'll run across. You'll want to look up that side quest and do it because, again, this is something I didn't do. You're gonna see the order that you're seeing these are so that you'll be doing these fights before you fight the yellow sage. Um, if you do these two fights before the yellow sage, you'll have a relic that you can use against the yellow sage that helps out a lot. Again, I didn't have that relic. I had to fight him the old-fashioned way. And again, this footage you're going to see is much later game footage of a lot of things that I have. So if you don't want to be spoiled on abilities you get, you might want to just skip this section. I hate to say it, but yeah. So the Tiger Vanguard, as well as Fuban, the giant beetle, went down pretty easily because, again, I had to come back and do this. I was late chapter 4 when I came back into these fights, so I made them look way easier than they are. The beetle, Fuban, again, he's just got very large attacks. The worst thing that he does is he'll bury himself underground and charge at you. You just have to dodge the charges. Eventually, the yellow sage, go figure, will ring the drum again once it goes underground, and then you guys will 2v1 him. And again, it's just very much beat his ass, honestly. Again, his attacks are big, dumb, and slow, and not that hard to dodge. I did this in one try, but again, I also had late, like mid/late game stuff, so yeah. Now then, Yellow Wind Sage, again, took me over 2 hours. I mean, this fight was brutal. I didn't have the special relic to stun him or whatever it does. I had to fight him honest. And the worst part is he's not that hard to start with. Once you get him to 60% health, he's going to go kind of like a stealth mode, sort of. He'll disappear and start attacking you as sand. Um, you, you just dodge it. That you can't hit him while he's in that form. And then when he comes out of that form, that's when the real fight begins. He'll be, like I said, at 60% health, and he'll surround the entire arena with a dust tornado. And what makes this so difficult is you can't see him when he's outside that tornado. That may be what the special relic stops. I have no idea. Um, but all you can do is just wait for him to come back. You're going to want to conserve your mana until phase 2 starts, because you're just going to get him down as quick as possible. That said, don't conserve stuff so much that you lose all of your health potions to him in phase 1. You can see when he does the big overhead swirls, that's when you've hit the 60% marker and you know that he's going into sand form. Now, after that, he basically keeps the same general attack pattern where, you know, it's just big swipes and stomps and stuff. The only thing you really have to watch out for him when you're actually able to hit him is he has what I call a command throw where he'll come at you really quick and he'll kick at you, and if that hits, it's actually going to put you in an animation and do a lot of damage. And going forward, this is something a lot of bosses will have, where they have these command throw abilities. But yeah, this is just a test of willpower, concentration, and endurance. And like I said, it may be significantly easier once you have that relic. But if you don't have that relic, if you want, for whatever reason, you want to fight him honestly like I did, good luck. But yeah, just fight him, whittle him down. He'll go down eventually. I mean, even my successful run, the fight took like 8 minutes. It was a lot. That was a victorious moment. Another secret boss that you can do, and this is a very important one. This is Shigandang, whatever his name is. He's in the same spot that the other big rock monster was. I don't remember its name. This guy. Not the Tiger Vanguard. The Stone Vanguard. Okay, so he's in the same place that the Stone Vanguard is. You have to collect Buddha eyes from around the general area where the boss is. They're not too difficult to find. You can usually hear chanting when you're near one. Actually, there's a boss that I didn't include in this as well, but it's very easy, so I won't bother. Anyways, you hear the chanting, grab the eyes. Once you have the eyes from all 6 Buddha heads, go back to where the Stone Vanguard was and put the eyes into the thing you can interact with, and it'll come to life. Much like the Stone Vanguard, he's just big, dumb, and slow. There's really no reason you should lose to him. I mean, if you do lose to him, I'm sorry, try again. But all of his moves are very slow, very projected. It's easy. I don't even remember if he had any like big special attacks. Not that I can see. He just has that big elbow drop where if you, not only is there an elbow drop, but it kind of throws out ground spikes that can hit you as well. So just beat him down. Use your spells, and do as much damage as possible. He does have a lot of health, for this section of the game. But overall, he's not too bad. He doesn't even do that much damage. So yeah. Now Black Long is a bit more interesting of a fight. So he's the second long dragon you can fight. He is behind the sand waterfall in chapter 2. And again, you have to have the long scale to be able to get to him. He has the 2 electrical hammer thingies, so if you do have any sort of thunder resistance somehow at this point, you want to throw that on. The big thing that I noticed with him, I mean, his melee attacks are big and slow. The only really dangerous thing that he has is at 2 points in the battle, he'll start slamming the ground with his hammers. It's a ground-based attack. There's a rock you can stand on in the arena that will put you off the ground. The second time I used it, the rock itself shattered, but for the most part, I just stood on top of it. Now you can also jump those shockwaves, and it's like a pattern, but that's it's a lot of work when all you really do is just stand on top of this rock. So yeah, outside of the ground smash attack, he doesn't really have anything super dangerous. He's just another big, slow enemy with very projected attacks. And then the last boss of the chapter is another secret boss. Throughout the areas, you'll have this little toy drum you can use. I don't even know where I got it, to be honest with you, but I had it, and you have to go through to 3 different sections to activate the boss for Mad Tiger. And again, look this up. If you Google Mad Tiger, you'll get the Black Myth Wukong wiki page, and you'll be able to see where these are. I found them all in like 5 minutes once I looked it up. The fight itself, again, I fought him way later than intended because I had to go back and fight him. He's not super dangerous at that point, but even then, he did a lot of damage per hit. So I can imagine if you don't have like armor upgrades and whatnot, he's going to brutalize you pretty good. So my advice is to come back later. I mean, he doesn't even really drop anything that's like super necessary. You get his soul, but it's not even a very good one. It like increases your attack power at the cost of a bunch of mana. If that's something that interests you, if you're interested in like a power melee build, then yeah, he might be worth it. But otherwise, you just come back and fight him later. Because like I said, he hurts. He hurts a lot. And yeah. I'm actually gonna... At this point, I'm gonna say don't keep watching if you don't want spoilers for abilities you can get. Because once again, this is a boss that I fought towards the end of chapter 4, even though it's a chapter 2 boss. So if you want to keep watching and see how I beat the guy, go ahead. Otherwise, click off the video now. But that's basically it. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, likes, comments, subscriptions, all that good stuff helps it a bunch. I'm of course streaming Black Myth Wukong. So if you're ahead of me or you just want to see me play it, be sure to subscribe, watch the VODs, etc. And yeah, I'll start working on the chapter 3 boss guide, and I'll see you in the next one. Deuces, dummies.